So we're discussing last episode of American Horror Story Roanoke Chapter 5. This was a crazy episode. Now I had a live reaction, but I only had half of it because the thing didn't buffer enough where I was able to do the whole episode. So I just figured let's just do a spoiler review of the episode and get my thoughts out there. Now I know it's late, super late, and we're already going to the next episode, which I'm wondering, like, what are they going to do next? We're at the point where now we're in the present where they're done talking. They're pretty much done talking. I believe they're done talking. Everything is behind them. Is this going to be a new story? This and that. Well, let's get started with who makes an appearance finally, and that's Evan Peters. Evan Peters is playing Edward something, where he's in the Renaissance era, the Beethoven kind of era. He's the one that makes that house on that land. He loves paintings. He's flamboyant, which means doesn't mean, but he's gay. Of course, he's gay. He has a bunch of he loves his painting. He's basically like a Thrawn. He loves his paintings. Evan Peters, when he first comes onto the scene and he starts talking, I'm like, he really sounds like Mr. March. In the beginning, I was like, he really sounds like Mr. March. But he started winning me over again because Evan Peters is an amazing actor. This role, though, I think it is kind of his weakest, honestly. I think I didn't picture him not Evan Peters like other characters. I pictured him as this is Evan Peters acting. So I think this was his weakest role so far, but we'll see if he comes into picture, if they do continue this storyline, because this storyline kind of comes to a conclusion. We have Sarah Paulson, we have Cuba Gooding Jr., and we have the daughter of Angela Bassett, and they're trying to get away from this mob. Evan Peters shows them, because in the beginning of the episode, he gets impaled by Kathy Bates and the mob because that was his house. It was kind of crazy how he just locks the servants down in the kind of the dungeon area, so to speak, just leaves them there kind of to die, honestly. Gives them like a little half an apple. I don't think he was going to leave them there to die, but he gets impaled and everybody forgot that the servants were there. So Evan Peters did get killed by Kathy Bates and her crew, so he ends up trying to help Sarah Paulson and Cuba Gooding Jr. and takes them to the forest in the woods, and that's not the place to go, and then he disappears. But there's a great effect when he's leading them down to the tunnels where he has a torch and he's looking back and forth at him, and it looks like it's like a skull-like thing going on with him, and his eyes are all open. I mean, I thought that effect and I thought that use of lighting was absolutely marvelous. I loved that look, so I thought that was great. So he leads them to the forest, and then the hillbillies, who they thought were doing all this and was the cause, takes them, and they kind of were doing all this, and they were the cause. Elias is still alive, but I guess they eat some of his leg. They did a Dale, or they did a Bob, basically, and they kind of tell him, like, you sons of bitches, like, all we wanted was this land, this and that, and they're like, here, take it, take the land, we don't want it. But like, that's too late. You took away our babies, which their kids were actually the ones that were suckling onto that pig, which I thought was one of them was Evan Peters, but I guess not. And it was crazy, man. I guess they offer sacrifices to Kathy Bates and crew, so that was pretty crazy seeing that revelation. And then Cuba Gooding Jr., Sarah Paulson are able to get away. They kill Elias. Elias was actually still alive, but then she finishes off the job by fucking hitting him, or the guy hits him in the head. Great effect, great gore effect that they used as well. So they're running away from them. They get captured, but then they're able to get captured, basically. They get brought to Kathy Bates's crew, her cult, so to speak. And then her son finally steps to the plate and just absolutely takes her into the fire. He says, no more innocent blood, grabs Kathy Bates, brings her into the fire, kills her, basically. Well, sort of kills her. I mean, they're dead already. And Evan Peters cuts them loose. Angela Bassett actually was there. She got dropped off by the cop, who just books it. And they're back. They leave the area, all this craziness that's behind, and they go into a hotel, and they said, I have nightmares, but that was the last time I ever step on that fucking place. So That's crazy. I mean, it was a good. There was a lot of things going. It was a fast paced episode. A lot of things thrown to in your face. But I think it was done really well, where it was very understandable. It connected really all the dots. It was a nice, neat little story. I don't know, where do you go from here, especially with Angela Bassett being questioned and stuff. Lee being questioned and stuff, but not turning any answers. A lot of death happening throughout. Like, how do you explain all that? I think it was and what about Lady Gaga, the witch? What happened to her? So I'm just interested to see if this continues with these same characters, or we get another story with the same kind of Roanoke. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I thought it was if it is the end of this overall little story, then it was good. It was actually really good. It had a point A to point B. It had just followed these characters, and along the way it had a conclusion. The only thing I could really say is, like, what about the witch? What happened to the witch? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I thought this was a solid episode. I thought there was a lot of things thrown your way, but it was very cohesive. Very cool. You can understand a lot of things that was going on. I thought it was done really well. I thought the gore effects were done really well. I thought the effects themselves were done really well. Cinematography just up the ante with the effects. So the acting was really well done, especially the part where Cuba Gooding Jr. is kissing Sarah Paulson, because he said it. He's like, I thought this was it. I thought we were dead. I thought it was all over. The screaming was it was definitely in kind of like, it was like not quenching, just really gut wrenching, because you like, oh shit, even though you knew these people were going to stay alive. I think that was the only problem I had with it. It was the fact that we know that these people are going to live on. So that's the only naysay I have to say about it. But overall, I thought Chapter 5 was a good, solid episode. I thought it makes me wonder what's going to happen next episode. But overall, good episode. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Next one, I'm going to do a live reaction of American Horror Story. So stay tuned. So I'm Dan, Making Dan's son. I'm out here. Like, subscribe. Want to hear you guys' thoughts.